it's Nicole, also known as Nikki Vegan, and welcome back to another episode of Make This Tonight. You guys really seem to like the first episode of this series, so I went ahead and filmed a bunch of these recipe videos that are going to be kind of rolling out on my channel over the next few weeks. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you're not already, and if you don't know, Make This Tonight is a series where the recipes are easy, delicious, vegan, family portioned, family friendly, and like I said, easy, because that way you can literally watch this video today and make this for dinner tonight. That's the whole idea of the show. Easy, simple, delicious is the name of the game. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then let's get into today's recipe. So for dinner tonight, we're making stuffed shells. This is all vegan, super creamy and flavorful, and surprisingly packed with protein. It's definitely a crowd pleaser, so I'm really excited for us to make this tonight. I hope you guys love it. First off, I'm going to start by soaking some cashews in hot water to soften them. This is something you can do a day or a couple of days ahead of time, just soaking them in the fridge. That way they're ready and waiting for you. So if you have done that, you can go ahead and skip this step. But if not, there's no problem. Just go ahead and let them sit for a couple minutes in warm water and set that aside. Another thing you can prep ahead of time, even up to like almost a week ahead of time, you could do this on the weekend and use this throughout the week, is to make a tofu ricotta, because this only gets better as it sits in the fridge and really kind of marinates with all the spices. So to make this, I'm just going to take some firm tofu, extra firm tofu. I go ahead and I drain the water. I season it with sea salt, oregano, garlic, and olive oil. Now, a lot of times I'll use garlic powder if I'm using this ricotta as a dip or a spread. But since this is going to bake in the oven, I actually like to use whole garlic, like a garlic clove, because it has a more robust flavor. So I add that along with some nutritional yeast and some fresh lemon juice, and then I blend this until it's nice and smooth and creamy, just like ricotta. Next, I'm going to go ahead and cook my pasta shells. Today I'm using shell pasta. You could also do manicotti if you like, or even just plain lasagna noodles and do more of a layered pasta bake instead. But I'm just going to go ahead and set my kitchen timer, and make sure you stay tuned until the end, because I'm going to tell you something about kitchen timers that majorly changed my life. And I'm not talking about the Pomodoro method, although I do think that's very helpful. This is just something that I have been wanting to share with you because it really makes a big difference. In the meantime, while my pasta cooks, I'm going to go ahead and make a basil cashew cream sauce. So for this, I'm just going to take the cashews and some fresh basil, and I'm going to combine them in a blender along with some fresh garlic and nutritional yeast. I'm going to add some salt and a little bit of olive oil and some water and blend this up, and you're going to be surprised how incredibly silky and creamy and delicious this sauce is going to be. And this is going to be a nice drizzle to go over our pasta. When my pasta is done cooking, I'm going to drain the water and rinse the pasta with cold water. Now, I don't ordinarily recommend rinsing off your pasta because I think that starchy cooking liquid will really help the pasta hold on to sauce. But in this case, you want the pasta to be cool enough so that you can stuff each of the shells with the tofu ricotta. So in a baking dish, I'm going to add some jarred tomato sauce and a drizzle of our basil cream sauce. And then I'm going to stuff each of the shells with some of our tofu ricotta. Now, if you have kids in the kitchen that like to help out, this is definitely something that they can do. Or if you have friends and family around and you all want to kind of make dinner together, this is a great step because it gets everyone involved and making dinner together. Now, this is the pretty Instagram version and this is the real version. So I made two different versions, one because I needed to take a picture and you needed to actually be able to see that it was stuffed shells. But when I make this at home, this is what it looks like. You can't really see what's going on underneath the surface because there's so much sauce and, a lot of that basil cream sauce, because I think that's what makes it taste really delicious. But, I also wanted it to look pretty for a picture, so I made two different versions. As you can see, they're both pretty. They're all delicious, so it doesn't really matter how you do it, but if you want my opinion, the more sauce, the better, especially because this makes leftovers for me, and I love having lots of the extra tomato sauce and basil cream sauce so that when I reheat it, it still has lots of flavor and it's not dry. So that just goes in the oven for 30 minutes. At that point, you can either pour yourself a glass of wine or make a side salad or roast some veggies to have along the side, like maybe some asparagus or broccoli. Any type of salad or green veggie is going to pair super well with this dish. And this is so delicious and meal prep friendly. I've reheated the leftovers and they're just as good, if not better, the next day. I really think you guys are going to love this. So you might remember me telling you that you want to stay tuned until the end so I can tell you about the kitchen timer thing. And this is one of those little hacks that is not new, it's not rocket science, but it genuinely makes a huge difference in my life. And I think that sometimes those are the little tips that we forget to share with each other because they seem so simple and common sense that you don't really realize how valuable that tip is. So for me, setting a kitchen timer, whether I'm steeping my tea, because that blueberry tea that I like has to steep for 4 minutes, so I put the hot water on the tea bag and then I set it for 4 minutes and I walk away. Same thing with making pasta. I'll go ahead and set it for whatever the box says. This time it said 9 minutes. I'll set that and do whatever else I need to do. Maybe I'll clean up some dishes or prep a salad to go along with my meal. But the reason why it's so helpful is because it really helps you to not have to think about anything else during that time. When you're cooking and when you're a busy person like I am, you're always juggling a million things. So while you're prepping the salad, you may know that you have about 8 to 10 minutes to check on the pasta. So every few minutes, you're kind of looking over your shoulder, checking on the pasta, making sure everything's okay. Whereas if you set a timer, you literally don't have to think about it and it frees up brain space. And I know it's only a small amount of brain space, but all of these small ways that we can kind of free up a little bit of brain space makes a huge difference in how relaxed and peaceful we feel. A lot of us are making decisions all day long and it can be very fatiguing and tiring, and cooking does not have to be something that you have to monitor everything like a hawk. So using tools that are literally oftentimes built into your oven, or you have a timer on your phone, just setting that and kind of forgetting it until the timer goes off really does provide a more peaceful and enjoyable experience in the kitchen, and the value of that is so much more than I can tell you. So I hope you'll take my advice on this. I know it's super simple, but I'm telling you, it's pretty life-changing, especially once you get into the routine of doing it all the time. It really makes a big difference. If there's a tip that you guys use all the time that you swear by, let me know in the comments so I can start practicing it as well. And as always, if you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. That really supports my channel. It helps more people find my videos, and I would really appreciate it. So give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you guys in a video very soon. Bye!